People are always going to hate you when you don't look like what you've been through, and that's not your problem. A lot of people are going to try and teach you to be weak. That's for them. That's not for you. Literally look at most of the advice out there. Oh, meditate, drink a lemon water, love yourself how you are. Yeah, how far did that get you? Exactly where it got them. They look exactly like what they've been through. No, not over here. Hi, friends. This is how to stop being weak or feeling weak. Because you're not. Because you would have folded already. There's this weird thing that happens when you've been through things and you've actually experienced hard shit in your life where you see reality. You see the truth of things. And there is strong people, this side, and then there are fake strong people who are actually very weak. And people who live in reality and have actually survived hard things, not people who are just scared and have so much anxiety they got to medicate themselves to go to the coffee shop. Two different types of people we're talking about. And listening too much to fake strong people will make you feel weak when you aren't. So I hope I can clear up a lot of the crap that you feel and a lot of crap that you see online. I'm sick of it. I've fallen into all these traps and I felt very weak for the past year. But one thing I want to say is strong people are the only ones who can actually feel weak. You ain't no weak little shit, okay? You might feel weak sometimes, but it's not the truth. First thing I want to hit on all this is there are so many reasons you might feel weak, even if you have so much lived experience that you're not. And it comes down to people blinding you to your own strength. And we got to talk about empathy versus pity. What you see online is a bunch of people who offer pity to others. They're not actually empathetic. But when you don't look like what you've been through, it makes it real hard for people to pity you. And people seem to only care about and love those that they can pity. People only love you when you're weak or when they see you as weaker than them. And a lot of people will confuse you and blind you to your own strength. So let's talk about the difference between pity and empathy. Pitying people, it's like this whole trend of like, do not say anything that will hurt anyone's feelings. They've been through enough. Do not tell them the truth because they're already upset. Even if the truth is going to help them, don't say it. That's mean. That's so insensitive. They want to pity you. Everybody's running off of pity, and I can't stand it. It makes me want to spit. And if you're someone that can't be pitied, you're going to be treated like dog shit. Hi, right here with you. But on the flip side, empathy, I see it as understanding and seeing how someone feels, understanding where they're at, and telling them what is actually going to help them, not just trying to comfort them because they've been through too much. Empathy is giving someone the truth, even though it hurts, because you know and you understand the truth is the only thing strong enough to shatter the fake reality that you're living in. I'm a very, very, very empathetic person. People always say I'm not. I'm an asshole. I'm evil. I'm crazy. Do all those sides of me exist? Yes. But when I'm delivering information, I've never said anything online with the sole intention of trying to harm someone or hurt people. They do that to me. I've never just said shit to hurt somebody. That's the difference. These people think that they're empathetic. They're not. They like to pity people because it serves them to see other people as weaker than them. Empathy is, I'm going to stand here and tell you the truth no matter what, because I'm actually looking out for what's best for you. If I know something or have experienced something or have advice on something where I know I can actually help you, it's not going to taste good and feel good to face reality and face the truth, but the truth is the only thing strong enough to set you free. I always say things, even if it's going to hurt, if it's going to help you, I'm going to help you. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It's like these people who are trying to do the whole body positivity shit. People who are 700 pounds are not healthy, but they don't want to tell you that. They want to say no. Science is wrong. You are healthy. You're beautiful and I love you just how you are. You're lying to them to not hurt their feelings. So these people pride themselves off of not sharing anything, truth or not, that hurts people. It's not intentionally hurting someone to tell them the truth, but I'm gonna step back from that. You already get the fucking point. But a truth I'm gonna spit out right now, don't give a damn who it hurts, is you actually cannot be empathetic if you ain't been through shit. If you haven't actually felt how somebody else has felt or experienced something that's gotten close to that, you can't be empathetic toward it. You can be empathetic to certain sides of things, but you can't be empathetic. Prime example, imagine you're getting ready to go out with your friends. Your friend comes out and is like, what do you think of my outfit? Somebody who pities you is gonna say, oh, you look great, even though you look like shit. Someone who is actually empathetic and someone who actually cares for you is gonna tell you the truth, even though it hurts your feelings. Babe, what the hell is that? What are you wearing? Maybe let's go pick something else. That's empathy, because empathy is seeing the pain you're gonna feel after you leave the house. Empathetic people protect you from future pain. People who pity you don't want to hurt your feelings, and they don't care how much more pain is ahead of you because they didn't tell you the truth. Tell your friend they look like shit. Maybe don't say it that harshly, but be honest. Maybe let's pick something else. I'm not really feeling that vibe. Like, be honest. And that's the biggest thing, is like, honesty has turned into something that people shame you for because you're honest, you're abusive. No, I'm realistic. But the way that this will make you feel more weak than you actually are is people who want to pity you will make you feel even more powerless, and they will teach you and try and convince you that you're more broken than you actually are. They're going to do the whole thing of like, oh, with everything you've been through, I love you exactly how you are. If you want to lose weight, you don't need to. You're perfect just how you are. You don't need to be further traumatizing yourself and restricting food from yourself. You don't need to abuse yourself to force yourself to have discipline and go to the gym and work toward goals. They look at having goals and having any kind of self-control as abuse. So they're not going to encourage you to do that. So they'll blind you to the fact that you do have control and you are able to handle things. They're going to say, oh, no, going to the gym is abusive. Watching what you eat is, I don't want you to get an eating disorder. You've already been through so much. They're going to baby you, and they're going to fuck you up worse. And that's where it's going to lead you to feeling weak. And they do not want you, even if you're strong enough to actually execute on goals that you have, they don't want you to. Because for people to hear that you've been through worse than them and you can still do what they've convinced themselves that they can't, they have to face they're weak. And a lot of people don't want to see the truth of themselves, especially when it's that, when they're a weak piece of shit. They don't want to see that. You're going to become a walking invalidation as soon as you step into the power that you do have and the strength that you do have. So these are the type of people who want you to stay weak or be blind to your own strength because it makes them not have to face what they've decided is true for them. I have anxiety. I have to take antidepressants, and I have to take all of these things because I have depression. I can't make myself go to the gym because of how I feel inside. And if you're saying that you feel those things too, no, going to the gym is abusive for us. You don't have to do that. The way that they set themselves off the hook and get pressure off of themselves, when they see you able to withstand the pressure and still meet the goal, they don't like that. They can't face that. And that leads me to my next point, where these people convince themselves that they're special. So with me, there's been periods of my life where I've had to just survive. Anxiety and depression were the least of my worries. Yeah, I felt them. But my whole objective and what I had to do, the place I was forced to be in, was survive. When you meet somebody whose biggest issue of the day is, oh my God, I just have so much anxiety. I have to go to the coffee shop. Oh my God. Like, I don't know. I'm scared. We don't relate to that. If you've been through shit, you understand That level of anxiety is nothing crippling to you. That was the least of your worries, going to get a goddamn coffee, when you're trying to over here survive, when the system's failing you, when nobody's coming to save you, no one's coming to help you, you're going through some abusive shit, whatever it is, you're not going to be able to relate. So your anxiety that you feel shits on theirs, but they can't see that. They want to feel comfortable with allowing their anxiety and all of their issues to be justification for why they can't do something. They have to be special. Well, my anxiety is different. You just don't get it. What the fuck you been through, girl? You were going through a talking stage and somebody ghosted you, and now you all traumatized about it? That's your biggest trauma you've been through? Right. Okay. So somebody who's actually been through really hard things, it's gonna cause this giant fight, basically. Because like I said, you've experienced real anxiety. They've experienced TikTok anxiety. That ain't real. They over here eating antidepressants. For what you got to be depressed about? What are these people actually got issues with? And the whole thing with the autistic trend going on, and I'm gonna call it a fucking trend because everybody's jumping on this trend trying to say that they're autistic. Why? It's like people get off on diagnosing themselves with shit, and these people scream and yell and cause a fuss that you're crazy, you don't get it, you don't actually know what anxiety is just because you overcame it and you dealt with struggles that didn't allow you to cripple and fall. You were forced to be resilient, and they don't understand that, and they're gonna have to demonize you. They're gonna have to be special. It's like when you use the example of losing weight. You don't defy physics. You don't defy human biology. These people want some kind of secret trick or secret hack to it. When I say it's a fucking numbers game, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept it. It's a calories game. Calories in, calories out. What happens if you don't fucking eat? You lose weight. But for whatever reason, they can't accept that. They can't face reality and the truth. They've convinced themselves they're special. No, my anxiety is different. I have to take these antidepressants. No, my body is different. I can't lose weight. It's not just a numbers game for me. They lock themselves in this perspective where they're special and they need some kind of new secret way of doing shit. You don't defy basic biology and physics. If you want to lose weight, it's a fucking numbers game. But they can't accept that. People who actually are based in reality and you've been checked, life hasn't allowed you to be delusional, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, I got to go to the gym or I got to eat less. And then you lose weight. These people will never lose weight because they can't accept that truth. That's the thing, is people like me and you, if you relate to what I'm saying so far, we've been forced to see the truth of life. And then there's this whole new wave of this whole society of people who will fight tooth and nail to not see the truth. I don't get it, but we're not meant to get it. We just got to observe it. And you got to stop letting these people fuck you up and make you think that you're weak just because they're weak. You're not wrong. You're not a problem. You're not an issue because you see the truth. And a big thing that's messed me up a lot is thinking that people are mad at me or fighting me. No, they're fighting the truth that I'm speaking. I'm just a mirror. And they're seeing themselves. They don't want to accept it. They don't want to see it. They want to do anything they can to get the mirror out of their fucking face. So they're going to attack it. Sometimes things are really just that simple. And that leads me to my second point. And another example is when you give advice and they won't accept it and they have to convince you that you're wrong. With smoking, when I talk about smoking a little cigarette. When I quit smoking and I said, it's a discipline thing, don't put it up to your fucking mouth and don't smoke. If you don't want to smoke, you can do that. These people convince themselves, no, I just can't control myself. It's not like that. It's not like that. No, it's not that simple. And then I did it. I quit smoking for a few months. It is that fucking simple. But because you're not addressing how hard it is emotionally to do it and all the urges and all the tricks your brain will play on you when you're trying to quit a certain substance. I've had bad relationships with all kind of stuff. Addictions, I haven't talked about yet, but I will. But when I said it's a discipline thing, They don't want to accept that because I'm special, I'm different. No, it's not that easy. I don't like the truth. When I started smoking again, because of me choosing to, what I was going through in life, I wanted a fucking cigarette to try and handle and go through it. When I started smoking again, they used that as an opportunity of like, look, see, it's not that simple. You're a liar. You're wrong. It's not that simple to just put it down because look, you're smoking again. I fucking chose to smoke again. Yeah, I want to have a little cigarette. If you let this, it will get in your head and make you start to question if you're actually right. It will make you start to feed into your own delusions of, maybe I can't control myself. Maybe it is more than I thought. Maybe I am helpless and powerless. They teach you to complicate shit to make you weaker so they don't have to face the fact of how weak they actually are. It's a bad dynamic. So if you know the truth, you know the way that things are, you know how it is. What you over here questioning if you're weak for? Why are you over here living life by their rules and their guidelines? Look at them. They can't even fucking take a shower, most of them. Please. Another thing that will make you start to question yourself is when people can't convince you that you're wrong, they attack your tone. It's the way you said it. You're insensitive. That's the whole pity thing. You want me to not tell you the truth or not be so animated about certain shit because that's the only arguing point you got. Like, that's the only point people have to fight is like, I don't like what you said, even though it's true. So what can I still attack? The way you said it, because I don't like it. You think I give a fuck how I say certain things? People don't have time to sit here and nitpick to everybody's feelings. And when I tried to do that, it ruined my relationship with myself and made me feel even more weak, where I had to attend to every single feeling of myself and everybody else. That shit does make you weak. When you are living in a world where nobody can handle the truth and just straight shot coming out of your mouth, it makes you feel weaker because you're constantly having to dial yourself back and overthink and hold yourself back and exhaust the fuck out of yourself to try and cater to everybody's feelings. If they can't handle it, they can't handle it. People don't want to watch me because I'm too harsh. I don't give a fuck. People don't want to watch me because I'm bald-headed. Valid. That had nothing to do with nothing. But people have all these criticisms about me. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. And they will discredit any good that I've done in this world. No, you're just the evil, bald piece of shit. Okay, to you, I'm not. But to everybody else who's living in reality on this side of the fence, they get it. So if you don't get it, shut the fuck up and go on. If you do get it, hang out with me. Okay, so another thing that will make you feel like you're weaker than you actually are is when people cannot fathom that you've been through what you've been through and you don't look like it. You don't allow yourself to be disheveled and destroyed by things that they would be destroyed by. They can't accept that reality in their brain. So they have to convince themselves you're a liar. You watch people do it to me all the time. I've talked about what I've been through in the past, and people make videos calling me a liar, saying that I'm lying about what I've been through and I'm lying about certain things. And where this makes you feel weak is you're having to revisit everything you've been through with somebody trying to poke holes in every fucking thing. So you got to relive what's already happened and was bad. And then you have all this added criticism and all this shit of people calling you a liar. And you're spending time trying to defend yourself and not be so abrasive and mean. Well, I'm calling you a liar because you said it like this. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I said it like what? How it happened? Boo-hoo. I'm never going to apologize for what I've been through. And you can bet every hair on my fucking head that I will never apologize that you weren't ready to hear it. I don't care that the truth of what I've been through is too abrasive or too scary for certain people. I didn't want it to happen to me, so I don't give a damn you didn't want to hear it. If you clicked on my fucking video, you clicked on it. You chose to watch it, so that's not my problem. But with so many people attacking you and having to discredit you, it will make you start to feel weak because you lose track and you lose sight of what's actually going on. You go into the whole thing of like trying to prove yourself and trying to basically deal with all of the hate that gets poured at you when it's not even about you. The hate ain't about you. The hate is about people don't want to face the reality. So it will make you feel very weak because you're going to feel more emotional. You're going to be walking through life and every little thing is going to piss you off and upset you, and you'll feel more emotional. So you will start to feel more weak. Having discipline will be a little bit harder because you have more emotions because motherfuckers are picking at you and poking at you. You are not actually weak. There's just so many more added things that might be making you feel weak. And I want to wake you up to them because you ain't weak. These people are only attacking you because they see how weak they are. That's the gang. And the other thing is when you see strong people, you can't fathom usually that they've cried themselves to sleep, or they've almost taken their own lives, or they've hit such low points of actual weakness to be able to be as strong as they are. They just see the strength and don't understand the contrast exists. You can't be very strong without having hit a point of extreme weakness. It's as weak as you've been is as strong as you can be. Most of these people ain't strong because they ain't been through shit. They're fake strong, like I'm talking about. So that's another thing to keep in mind is like people can't fathom strength is bred from weakness. They forget that part. And a lot of people who attack you are never, ever gonna see that they're abusing you even worse. All the people who make videos about me, all the people who talk shit on me, all the people who have betrayed me and done all this and done all that, they're never, ever gonna see what they're doing is taking someone who's actually been through this shit that I'm describing and have talked about, and then they've just abused me even worse. They're never going to see it. And the other flip of that is when they start poking at you and they start fucking with you, when you've been through things and you've had to actually like access a part of yourself where you're forced to protect yourself, you can be very vicious. And I'm very, very fucking vicious when I gotta protect myself. I choose not to, but that is still inside of me. And when they pick at you to try and pull it out, all they're trying to get is validation. You are fucking crazy. You are a liar. You are psychotic. A lot of people call me a pussy and call me a bitch and all this and that. They try and like discredit me. None of them have ever stepped to my fucking face and said it. And best believe the first one who does will never speak again. I'm snatching their tongue out their fucking throat. It's not happening. But any kind of reaction or retaliation they can get out of you is just a setup. They're setting you up to justify and validate everything that they're saying, because someone that's actually healed from and can deal with what they've been through that you're claiming wouldn't act like that. No, that's not the point. You're fucking with me. You're poking me. If you poke a bear and wonder why you got bit, you're a fucking idiot. That's the core of it. These people just want to poke you and poke you and poke you, but it's just to get justification that what they're trying to use to discredit you is true. So they don't have to face the fact that they actually are strong enough to get out of where they're at. They want to stay comfortable in it. Don't fall into this trap. I fell into it real hard. Don't bother. Do not. And that's another thing that makes you feel weak, is trying so hard to like have self-restraint and control yourself and not slip into old patterns. It's hard. And nobody's going to give you credit for that. They're only going to attack you worse when you slip up. When you don't exude a level of strength that these people can't even have for themselves. When you slip up one time and you defend yourself, oh no, immediately you're shamed and ridiculed and attacked even worse. And nobody's going to acknowledge how many times you just got hit and took it on the chin and how much strength that took. They're only going to highlight that one moment of weakness that you had, and it will make you start to think that you're weak. I see all the times you got to restrain yourself. I know what real strength is. Not fucking killing a lot of people is a level of strength most people don't understand. And this whole dynamic will push you to a point of madness. Hanging on as long as you have, if you relate to anything I'm saying, that's a validation of your strength. These people are fucking with you and they're abusing you worse. They're never going to see it, but I want you to know somebody does see it and somebody else is going through it and has been going through it. And I'll go through it the rest of my fucking life, but you aren't alone in it. And I see it. I get it fully. Another way that this can make you like blind to your strength is people will hold you to standards they can't even hold themselves to. Like I talked about with having to restrain yourself when they're abusing you, they could never take it. They get cussed out by one person. They get called a certain slur by one person in public and go home and cry and make a TikTok about it and they're fucked up about it. Got to go get a whole new dosage upped on their medication to deal with it and function in real life. When you're strong, people are going to hold you to standards that they couldn't even access themselves. It's going to be a world of hypocrisy that you live in. So I just want to highlight that. If you feel like people expect more of you than they expect of themselves, it is a sign that you are so much stronger, one, than them, but two, than you think or feel at certain times. Like I said, the strength comes with points of weakness that makes you forget the strength sometimes. But that level of frustration of like wanting to bash people's head in because they expect so much of you and zero of themselves, that's a mindfuck. That one I still don't fully wrap my head around. Like I can't get that one because it doesn't make sense. And you will feel punished at times for being resilient when you're put in positions where you're forced to be resilient and you have to keep going. There's no option to quit. There's no option to stop. And you have a level of strength and resilience that comes out of that. It's going to be used against you all the time. When I was on tour last year, I got in a car wreck in between my shows. I should be dead. I shouldn't have lived. And I was in the car with my mom. We're on the way to the hospital. I get calls from certain people about business shit. And their first concern is, oh, are you still good to do the other shows? We don't have to push anything back, right? Like you're still good. Like you almost died, but like you're good, right? The level of zero compassion that you get when you are strong is crazy. And when you treat people how they treated you, you're the bad guy, you're the asshole. Because I had a whole experience of certain people with all the Palisades fires in LA, like all the whole fire ordeal. I'm very big on not doing to people what they did to me just to be petty. I used to do it all the time, but that's another added level of strength is when you don't allow things that have happened to you change how you treat other people. But when the fires happened, certain people that I work with business-wise, certain ones that called me that night, you still good to do the show? Right after I almost dying on the way to the hospital. These same people, when the fires happened, my first reaction is text everybody, make sure they're good, make sure they're okay, make sure they're safe. I have a lot of business shit I have to do. I have a lot of calls I'm waiting on. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of things that are stacked that these people are responsible for. And when they were in a situation where a lot of bad things were happening around them, I call to check and make sure everybody's good. I'm offering people money just because I care about them. Business aside, I see human beings. Everybody who was involved in most of this, everybody was fine. Nobody was impacted. Nobody personally, nobody's friends, the company, the building, nothing was impacted. Weeks go by and everybody keeps saying, oh, we're still trying to recoup. We're still trying to recover. And like everybody's trying to get adjusted from what's happened. After 2 weeks of being understanding and lenient, I was at the point where I was like, okay, maybe something's going on. I don't know. Let me be understanding. After 3 weeks and another clarification, nobody's been impacted. What the fuck am I sitting here waiting for? Get back to work. I didn't even have 3 fucking hours off of almost actually personally dying before business was brought back into my hands. Everybody got 3 weeks. And I was still teetered with that whole, oh, just give us some time. We're all just trying to adjust. Like, this is why things have been slow. Now I'm at a point I don't give a fuck why things are slow. Back to work, because money is taken from me, regardless of how I'm doing or what I'm going through. I'm expected to be there and perform and show up and do what the fuck I gotta do. Everybody's still taking money from me no matter what is going on. So the work needs to fucking be done. I've been more than considerate. I've been more than lenient. I didn't treat you how you treated me, but you still couldn't handle it. That shit pisses me off. When people hold me to a standard they can't even come close to. And that is a signal and a sign of absolute strength. So if you deal with this, like I said, don't for a second doubt yourself that you're insensitive or that you're weak. No. And with situations like this, where people hold you to a certain standard, usually they do it with no comfort or consideration or concern to you. So when you're actually struggling, being held to a very, very high standard, there's like an absence of comfort. It's just an expectation of like, oh no, it's going to get done. People are not going to comfort you and be there for you. So that's a situation where you will question yourself. Am I weak? You're not. At all. Strong people do deal with feeling neglected a lot. I do. All the fucking time. People act like I don't feel certain things and go through things. It's like I feel everything everybody else feels. I just have the ability to still function. And that's the thing. So like, don't get in your head worrying about if you're weak, if you're this, if you're that. No. And the whole thing, especially with relationships, when people like to make you the bad guy. Be the bad guy. Be the motherfucker. I just step into it. Lean into it. Because what is turning against yourself and trying to rip yourself apart to try and cater to them and their feelings going to do? Make you feel weaker. When you use people not being strong enough as a time to attack yourself, that does make you weak. You spend time ripping yourself apart to try and be more understanding and trying to see things from their perspective. A little introspection is always needed. You always need to evaluate the situation, but don't turn that knife at yourself trying to nitpick yourself. Oh, why am I so mean? Why am I so harsh? No, you should be pissed off that you got to deal with what other people could never deal with. Why are they doing it to you? Get pissed off. Let the anger help you set a boundary. Weak little shits will run all over you all the time, but they will never, ever acknowledge that you're stronger than them. And how I talked about before, you have to be wrong so they don't have to admit that they're weak. That's the dynamic going on. You're insensitive, you're rude, you're mean, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. All they're avoiding saying is, I'm weak. They'll throw it all on you. But one more thing, if you need help with deciphering in your head if you're weak or not, weak people have to justify their wrongdoings. Strong people can own it. Anything I do bad or wrong, I'll fucking own it. I don't have to justify, well, it's because of this, it's because of that. No, I don't care. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I said it. Would you like added context? I can give it to you. I can give you explanation, but like if something I did sounds bad, I can stand here and own it. I can stand here and say it. And that is a trait of only truly strong people. The fake weak got to use justification. Well, it was because I was dealing with it. No, if you can't just say what you did, you're weak. If you got to sit here and backtrack and, oh my God, no, there's justification to it. If you possess that ability, just that's a big signal and a sign of strength. So I hope this episode made you feel more empowered, more aware of who the fuck you are, to stop letting people make you second guess yourself and doubt yourself. You're not weak. You're just too strong for the society that is coming up. I'm sick of it. But like I said, you're not alone in it. And that's why this podcast is called Aware and Aggravated, because we is aware and we is fucking aggravated about it. If you've made it this far in the episode and you're listening to the audio version on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, leave me a 5-star rating, but also download the episode. Hit the download button, because that helps me a ton. If you're on YouTube and you've made it this far, hey friend, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And hit the thumbs up button. If you're new, subscribe and all that. I'm going to be back next Sunday. That's my thing. Sunday service. Every Sunday I put out a new video of me yelling at you. I've stopped going live on TikTok because I get banned and censored all the time. So I made a Substack. That's where I go live and I show you my guns and talk shit. I'll leave the link in the description. I'll also leave the link to all my social media where you can keep up with me, all the random shit I be doing. But that's it. That's all I got for this episode. So everybody be safe. Take care of yourself. You ain't weak. So stop acting like it. Okay? Love you so bad. I'll talk to you guys next Sunday.